Hello and welcome to this 5-day webinar series that I'm going to do this week from Monday through Friday, okay, April 17th through April 21st. So welcome to all of you. I am recording this, okay, so I would like to mention that to please turn off your microphones and cameras. You don't have to turn off the camera, but the microphone, so that I can get a good recording. At the end, you can unmute if you'd like to speak. Just know that if you speak or if your camera is on, you will be heard and seen by everybody. So if you don't want that, then you can just type in the chat. Okay, so let me first say something that I think it's important. I got a lot of good feedback. Thank you. You're so kind. And more than 500 people have registered for this free series. And so one person asked a question that didn't bother me. And I want to address it because I don't know if this person is here or if he or she will watch the replay. But in any case, it's a valid question. So the question was very polite. This person said, I don't mean to be rude, but what are your credentials? And I can understand that because there are so many crazy okay, let's just call it that way. The internet is crazy. You get a lot of people on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, which of course they're sharing their opinion. Everybody's entitled to share their opinion. It's just that sometimes you can confuse people a lot, and you could, create. My goal is never to confuse people. So I think that's a valid question. And even though I wouldn't have to have any credentials, because this is just a plain video that's going to be on YouTube where I share my experience and my opinion, but I think it's important. So I want to show you all. Let me see if I can with my PowerPoint presentation. So this is a very short one, but I do want to show you. Some of you know me, some of you don't. This is me when at one of my heaviest weights, when I was over 270 pounds, okay? And there are very few photos of me because I didn't like pictures. And this is August of 2013, and that is when I started the McDougall program in person, with Dr. McDougall being our teacher and mentor in Santa Rosa, California. Also at 270 something, I don't know exactly what it was. This is by the end of the 10-day live-in program, and I was so happy to get a photo with my idol, okay? And so we became friends. We did hundreds of webinars together. I consider him my mentor and my friend. And so one of the trips to Hawaii, I was able to go, and we had a lot of fun. You can see there. These are just photos that are recent from a few months ago. And this is my certification. It's not easy to pass this certification. I do have a doctorate. It's not a medical doctorate. I'm a doctor in music, and I'm a college professor. And so I'm used to absorbing a lot of information. And this certification certainly was challenging, okay? A lot of information, and took me a few months, but eventually, I took all the tests and I passed the certification that says that I am a Starch Solution coach, and it's certified by Dr. McDougall's Health and Medical Center. So anyway, those are some of my credentials. The other credentials is, of course, that I have done many webinars with Dr. McDougall. I have attended so many of his programs. I have documented them in my YouTube channel. And of course, I have interviewed just about every doctor and chef and dietitian in the whole food plant-based. And I do keep in touch with them. I like to keep updated with books and things like that. So what I'm going to do today and this week is I'm not going to give any medical advice because I never do. And it's just that I'm going to share what I know. So here are all the masters, like Dr. McDougall and Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lyle and Chef AJ. And here is you, and I'm in the middle here, and I'm just passing on the information to you, perhaps in more like in everyday language, so that it is clearer and easier to understand. I know that many of you are advanced, and I have been a whole food plant-based person for 10 years now, but many of you have been at this for longer than me. So I always want to listen to what you have to say. So let's do this here. Hold on, let me take this PowerPoint off my screen at least. And okay, so here we go. So today I have planned a different topic every day of the week. Today is, what is the difference between the Starch Solution and the Maximum Weight Loss Program, both of them by Dr. John McDougall. So I'm going to be brief, so that way I can leave time for you to ask questions. This is how I have come to understand them and seen them after 10 years of doing this. The Starch Solution, and I'm sorry if I look at this because people keep coming in and I'm letting them in. Okay, so the Starch Solution is a wide, sorry about that. The Starch Solution is a wide door for everyone to enter. That's how I see it. This is the Starch Solution, okay? And I think that this is a book. I believe everybody should have this book. I think it's brilliant. It's one of the best books that I've ever read, and I've read many. So it is a brilliant nutritional plan, okay, that is designed, in my opinion, is designed, well, I'm talking to Dr. McDougall, I can say, for the person who eats a diet very high in animal products and processed foods. What are animal products? Well, of course, anything that has a face or a mother, okay, or father. And so, beef, chicken, fish, anything that is animal, of course, and dairy, okay? So those are animal products. Now, what is processed? So here, some of you know exactly what processed food or products are, and some of you may be wondering. Okay, so this is what processed means. Processed means that the fiber was taken out, or the water was taken out, or in the worst situation, both of them are absent. That is really the best definition of processed food. And it gets worse when then you add big amounts of salt and sugar and oil and flour and things like that. But mostly processed means that the fiber and water is absent. So actually, and most of these products are packaged. Okay, so you've got to be careful with packaged foods. It is possible to eat a vegan diet, not a whole food, plant-based, which we should not confuse. A vegan diet that is junk food. Okay, so we could have chips. Those are vegan. They're full of oil. They're fried. Their calorie intake is off the roof. There are these burgers that we don't really know what they have, and many of them have some traces of animal products and oils and things like that. Fried foods are also can be vegan, but they're fried. A lot of free radicals, which we don't want. Processed things like processed tofu products, basically foods, with no water and fiber. Why is water and fiber so important? Because water and fiber together produce bulk in our stomach, and it keeps us satisfied. So we're not starving, and we don't have to worry about quantity. We don't have to measure things. We don't have to weigh things. We can eat ad lib. Okay, we can eat as much as we want, because since the water and the fiber is intact, then we have satiety. Okay, and of course, fiber is perhaps the most potent way of detoxifying our body, getting excessive hormones, getting a lot of fat, getting toxins out, chemicals. That's done with fiber. Okay, there is a wonderful video by Dr. Neil Barnard where he explains this. Okay, so people who come from this type of addictive diet, full of additives, okay? Because remember that when we talk about food addiction, we really are talking about processed food addiction. Like I always say, nobody really is addicted to spinach or kale. Nobody wakes up at 2 a.m. and is crazy craving, and they have to go to the refrigerator and get kale or chard. So food addiction is really processed food addiction. So people who come from this type of addictive diet, full of additives, high in fat, high in salt, in oil, are going to have an easier way when switching to a whole food, plant-based, starch-centered way of eating than, let's say, the maximum weight loss program or other programs that are a little more restrictive. This is not to say that some people do really well jumping directly into a more hardcore, strict program and skipping the softer approach of the starch solution. As you know, or maybe you don't know, so I'm going to say, as you know, the starch solution allows bread, pasta, pizza, small amounts of salt and sugar, pancakes, things like that. They are allowed, so that if you're going to take everything that a person thinks it's the only way they can eat, all the animal foods, all the dairy, all the oils, but you keep these other foods, they don't feel so deprived. Okay, some tofu and other natural soy products are also allowed in the starch solution. Nuts and seeds are allowed, avocados, dried fruits and juices, okay? So one of Dr. McDougall's latest books is this one, The Healthiest Diet on the Planet. He was writing this while we were filming a lot of our webinars, so I know the process of this book, and he was totally inflexible with wanting to include in this book the picture book. That was not non-negotiable with his publisher. He had to include this, or he would not publish the book. Okay, so he wanted something that would not have a lot of words and would have pictures, and it would be easy to understand, because he got tired of people wanting to make things complicated. I guess that is a human being trait. Okay, we know we kind of like to make things complicated when they're not. So, and now that I am a coach and I have my own 7-day program, I see that. Okay, so this is a great idea. So he has traffic lights with red, yellow, and green. So if it's in red, you're not going to eat it. Okay, so for example, you have no meat or poultry or fish, no shellfish or eggs or milk or cheese, and no butter or margarine or any types of oil or fake meats and cheeses, no fake cheese and meat. And then he says, eat a lot of oatmeal, pancake, hash browns, what else do I see there? Vegetable soups, bean soups, potatoes, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, bread, pasta, pizza, brown rice, rice and vegetable dishes. Okay, you see, there is so much to eat that it is the starch solution is a wonderful way to to usher in somebody who is eating a really damaging diet and make it look, make it possible. This is how I started. Okay, and I'll tell you my experience. Then he has yellow. This is be careful with. Okay, be careful with tofu and other natural soy products. Also, be careful with nuts and seeds, dry fruits, juices, avocados. He's not saying don't eat them. He just says be careful. Be careful with salt and sugar and spice and supplements. Okay, and so you can see that this diet is very friendly, okay? Very friendly. So this is how I started. When I went to the 10-day program, it was based on the starch solution. And the breakfast, lunch, and dinner was this amazing buffet that was several feet long, and you could choose, you had like 20 different or 30 different choices every day. So you could see what you like and what you didn't care for. With the starch solution, I quickly lost 50 pounds. I mean, quickly, like I was losing 10 pounds a month. I have to say, not 8 to 10, sometimes 12. I have to say, okay, footnote here, men lose weight faster than women. It's not my fault. Okay? So it's just the makeup of our bodies are different. So if you're a woman, it may come off a little slower, maybe. And so I lost a lot of the weight, or most of my weight, with the starch solution, eating bread and eating pasta and avocados. I'm not a person that likes really nuts and seeds or nut butters or things like that. So to me, that was not something that I would usually eat. And I lost that. And then you get to this point, which we call the equilibrium point. Dr. Lyle talks about this. Other people call it a plateau. It's the point where the body says, okay, this is how far I'm going with this way of eating. So when you get to that equilibrium point, you have a decision to make. Are you happy where you're now? And you can continue that way. It's a healthy diet, but maybe you haven't lost all the weight. I had 20 to 25 more pounds that I wanted to lose. So at that point, I didn't know about this program, okay? This is the maximum weight loss program. I didn't know about this yet. Maybe I heard it, but I didn't pay really much attention to it. So on my own, I started to experiment. So I started to eat less bread, not totally out, and less pasta. Those were the things that I guess were my the more higher calorie foods that I ate. So I started to diminish that, and I noticed that I started to lose again. And at that point, after losing 50 pounds, I was more comfortable moving around. So I started walking a little, really little, maybe 2 or 3 times a week for half an hour. So, I mean, it was more it just made me feel good. Okay. So I don't think that helped with weight loss, but it did help with mentally, okay, and emotionally. And so, I noticed that. And so here's the difference now with the maximum weight loss. Let me see here. Let me look at this page so that I can quote directly from the book. And let me just mention this. Dr. McDougall and I did a lot, and I mean a lot of webinars during several years, every week. And some of them are about maximum weight loss. And all of those webinars, which in my opinion, they're pure gold, and they're on my YouTube channel. You can type my name, Gustavo Tolosa, in YouTube. You'll get to my channel. If you don't mind, please subscribe and click on the notification bell. It helps me to continue making these free videos. And then start looking. These are all free for you. Start looking, and it will go back to the year 2014 probably, or 15. And okay. So let me see. One of you are saying that my microphone is coming in and out. Let's see if this helps. Okay. So feel free to check my YouTube channel, because there is a lot of information right there on the YouTube channel. And there's a lot of information on my website, which is plantemas.com. And there are free videos for cooking demos and other videos with other doctors. Let's see if I can type it here. That is the website. Okay, and then I have a Facebook page, which the Facebook page is under Dr. Starch, and you have to spell it all out, Dr. Starch. And you can like it and follow it. Okay, so that gives you some extra info there. And now I'm on page 59 of the maximum weight loss. And let me read a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a little bit. It says the program consists of 2 parts. a dietary regime, and an exercise plan. To get the best results, you should follow both parts of the program. Well, right there, there is a slight difference in the Starch Solution. Really, there's no mention of exercise, and here there is mention of exercise. And here are some of the differences now and the similarities. So I'm reading here, you see, I have highlighted, I've read both of these books several times. So on page 60, it says, eliminate all animal foods. Well, that's the same as this. Eliminate all oils, same thing. Eliminate all high fat plant foods. Okay, this is a difference. Okay, so if you are at that equilibrium point, okay, you will probably have to or need to, if you want to continue losing weight, eliminate high fat plant foods. For example, nuts, nut butters, such as peanut and almond butter, seeds, seed spreads like tahini, avocados, olives, coconut, and soybean products, including tofu, which is 54% fat, okay? And these vegetable foods are high in fat, which is effortlessly stored in your adipose tissue. They provide only meager amounts of carbohydrate to satisfy your hunger. So you're still going to be hungry after eating those high-fat foods. Okay, so what else? Number 4, a big difference between this and this. Eliminate all flour products, okay? So, sorry, there's no bread, no pasta, no pancakes, no pizza. Okay, so that's pretty clear. He goes on to explain what and why and all that. Number 5, eat whole grains and potatoes. Well, that's the same for both programs. Eat legumes, same for both programs. Number 7, make green and yellow vegetables 1/3 to 1/2 of your meal. That is a difference, okay? Here, your plate is 70 to 80% starch with only 20 to 30% non-starch. Non-starchy vegetables are mostly all of the green vegetables, chard and kale and spinach and all the types of lettuces and bell peppers and cucumbers. I mean, you can go to the internet, type non-starchy vegetables, and you're going to get a list of all the vegetables that are non-starchy. So here it is mostly starchy vegetables, 70 to 80% of your plate. Here, he is saying to make the non-starchy vegetables 1/3 to 1/2, and in my experience, it's more like 1/2 of your plate. You look at your plate, you don't have to measure and weigh and do things, just look at it, ballpark, half of it needs to be, half of it only be starch. Okay, then number 8 is eat uncooked foods raw. That is not underlined in this, okay? And a lot of here is cooked. So here it says, regular consumption of raw vegetables will cause you to lose weight faster. Carrots, celery, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, snow peas, bell peppers, and onions are commonly eaten raw. Eat your 2 fruits a day uncooked, which takes me to the next point that, let's see here, let me, that it says that he wants you to limit fruit. Here, fruit is not limited, okay? Here, he limits the fruit to 2 pieces of fruit a day. And in some cases, if you're still not losing weight, he wants you to try, at least for a while, not forever and ever, to eliminate fruit and see what happens, because many of us are more, subject, we respond strongly to sugar, even if it's natural sugar, okay? And okay, number 9, restrict, right here, fresh foods. I don't know if you can see that. Restrict fresh fruit to no more than 2 servings a day, and avoid dried fruit, fruit puree, and fruit juice. Why? Well, because of what I was talking earlier, because of the lack of fiber or water, okay? When the fiber and the water are taken out, the less you have, the calories go exponentially higher. And number 10, use simple sugar sparingly. Common sugars such as white sugar, brown sugar, fructose, honey, molasses, maple syrup, and concentrated apple juice all slow weight loss. They do this in 2 ways. First, by providing calories. Sugar spares the burning of body fat and slows fat loss. Second, sugar is a strong stimulus for insulin production. Insulin encourages the storage of fat in the fat cells. So, of course, the book is longer, and there are other strategies that he lists, like chewing food thoroughly, which I have to think about that. Sometimes I tend to eat too fast. Restrict variety, because variety prompts many times eating more. You'll eat more if there's variety, but if it's kind of boring, you are going to get bored and you're not going to eat as much. Okay, so there is more, but those are the main differences, okay, between both of them. I know that there is a lot more. I could talk for another hour or hour and a half, but I would like to leave time for questions. And let's see here. Some of you have typed questions here, so let me just go through. Starch solution is what most healthy people can eat to varying degrees. Okay, I thought the starch solution was for people who aren't currently eating very healthy. Hold on just a minute. Yeah, I mean, the starch solution to me is that it's, you have a friend, a family member, you know somebody, a co-worker, whoever it is, that wants to try this. If you take out all that we've talked about, all the animal products and the dairy and all the oils, and then you say no bread and no pasta and no this and no that, in their mind they're going to be like a rabbit. I mean, they're going to be eating lettuce and maybe some carrots, and so it's scary. They probably will run the other way. So it is a way to get people in, because that's what's important, is to help people. That's what Dr. McDougall is passionate about, and that he passed that on to me. I'm passionate about that too. And so if I have to let them eat some bread and pasta at the beginning while they give up the most important things that is keeping them sick, which is the animal products and the oils and animal products, basically. And then I'm happy, because at least they are seeing that they can do this. And you know what? When you start seeing how good the food is, how good you feel for the first time in years, and how the scale starts to go down, then you and you alone, after a while, start thinking, hey, if I can do this, doing this, I wonder what will happen if I just eat a little bit less. Instead of eating pasta 3 times a week, I'll just eat it once. Instead of having bread every day, I'll have it 2 times a week. You know, you yourself usually start talking about this. So I think that is I think that's what's brilliant about the Starch solution. Okay, so go ahead. If anybody wants to unmute your microphone and ask questions, I'm going to keep reading the comments here. Maximum weight loss is simpler, less exciting, so you know your real satiety level. Yes. I do believe that the Starch solution is more like a beginner level because the maximum weight loss is a little stricter. But like I said at the beginning, some people are fine. They want the stricter approach from the beginning. Okay, I have a question about quantity. Are we eating until full, or are we counting calories? We are not counting calories. If we're eating to what Chef AJ calls to the left of the red line, and so maybe I will talk about that tomorrow. She has a chart, and there are foods listed by caloric density. And so if you're eating food that is whole, and this is the key word that most people miss, this word, whole, WHOLE, food pretty much in its original shape, okay, with all of the fiber and water in it. The caloric content is going to be always low enough that it will keep you satisfied. You don't have to count calories, you don't have to measure things, and you can eat until you're full. Of course, I am making generalizations here. I hope you understand this. This all varies according to where you are in your journey, and that's why my 7-day program, I think, is so successful. It's because I take a group of people, everybody's at a different point, and I work with all of you to go from where you are and achieve a goal. But yeah, it's just there isn't a one size fits all. We have to see where you are in your journey. Okay, so I see peas are not listed in the maximum weight loss list on page 63. Are these off limits? I don't think that the lists here are totally exhaustive. I don't think they listed every single fruit and vegetable and everything here. I don't believe that they are off limits. But just today, I was emailing Dr. McDougall about something else, and I could ask him. Okay, so peas, I'm just going to ask, and tomorrow I will get an answer. Okay, I always say that if I don't have the answer, I'm not going to make up an answer. I'm just going to find the answer. Okay, they may be a yellow food. Okay, I see. You get used to not eating butter, but it is, I guess you meant better. Okay, but it is part of the casomorphine food, so it will always call me. Maybe you meant butter. Okay, yeah. What do you use instead of butter? Butter where? Like on a baked potato, or butter on bread, or in baking? Well, I'm lucky enough that I never really liked a lot of butter. I used it, and so we just learn a few easy techniques. We learn easy techniques of how to combine certain spices and condiments. And one of them, of course, is I mean, there are sauces that you can make. There is nutritional yeast. There are different things that little by little you learn that will, get you off, let's say, butter, or will get you off somebody else. There is a learning curve. Okay, so I'm not going to say that you start and all of a sudden you know everything. There is a learning curve, but that's why we're here, is to learn and to help each other. I see somebody with a microphone on. I don't know if you'd like to speak or if it's on just because it's on. Okay, all right. Maybe it was just by mistake. So peas are a starch like corn, legumes, beans, and lentils. Okay, so just remember that if you're going to use, well, whether you do the starch solution or the maximum weight loss, it would be good for you yourself. I think that we all learn better when we do a little bit of research on our own. So go through several charts, not just one, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 different charts on the internet where you have listed all of the non-starchy vegetables and starchy vegetables, and really maybe you want to print them or make a list so that you know, because you do have to know some things to do this, so that you will know what veggies are starchy. So if you want to do half of your plate starchy and half non-starchy, you will know which veggies to add. There are green peas. Okay, yeah, there are some green peas in some of the recipes in the maximum weight loss. Okay. Anybody else? Any comment? Any questions? I'm just gonna scroll down. Some of these things, like, let's say, like cheese sauces and butter and oil things, now they have become so far, they're so far away from my taste. And I don't like the taste, I don't like the way they feel, so that I don't have to worry about it. But I do understand if you're starting that you want to know. So as we go along this week, if you want to email me with some questions, and I'll give you more specific help. There are wonderful ways to substitute everything. I mean, even fried foods. I have a really good technique of making fries, potato fries, that I think they're as close as eating fried potatoes as you can get. So you just learn these techniques, and with time, and then you get used to it. And then the old stuff, okay, doesn't taste or feel good anymore. Okay, Starch Solution. Okay, anything else? Let's see if insight question. Do people like to make things complicated so there's a reason, excuse to not be able to follow through, to preserve a person's ego, like maybe Dr. Lyle might say? Well, I think that is a way to, a type of sabotage that some people may go through. So like, well, if I make this complicated, I can't, eating a whole food plant-based diet takes too much time. It's too expensive. Both of those are not true. But you need somebody, a coach or a friend or somebody to show you how that it's not expensive, it's not time consuming. So yeah, and I think that it's just in human nature. Sometimes I think that we, if there's something that looks too simple and easy, we just like, well, really? Is that simple? That cannot be. And so we start complicating things. Ezekiel bread was a very good bread for me at the beginning, because it's an excellent bread with as healthy as you can get. And so that took care of my bread addiction, which is something that I fight to this day. And you just learn to deal with it, you know. So Patricia, just try bread with, okay. Can you discuss the differences between this 5-day free webinar and your 7-day course? Oh yeah, well, it's day and night. This is something that I like to do every now and then, because it's I like to do things for people who don't want to spend money or can't, and so I like to do free things for everybody to have access to. And this 5 days, we're meeting one time a day. And I'm just talking about the topics that I mentioned in the email. I will show you a few cooking demos, and it's a very generic, very general approach. In the 7-day program, we meet live like this 3 times a day, for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. If you cannot meet in person, I mean live, it's totally okay. I have people that have never been able to attend the live, but they watch the replays and they have had success. Of course, it's a little more exciting to some people can only make it for the lunch or the breakfast or the dinner. So we meet 3 times a day for 7 days. That's 21 days. We have a preparation session 2 or 3 days before, and then we have a wrap-up session at the end. So that's really 23 sessions. And in each session, I show you, this is the key, okay? This is how I started this program. Simple meal ideas. These are not recipes, really. They're simple meal ideas that have only 3 or 4 ingredients that you can, anybody, even if you hate cooking, even if you don't like it, anybody can make them. The ingredients are easy to find, they're inexpensive, and they taste great. So you will be able to follow it after the 7 days are gone. And then, of course, the addition of being in a group of people with the same goals and the same struggles, and talking and sharing, is that support group is invaluable. And then having the chance to ask questions, and many times, well, so far every time I've done it, I bring a special guest toward the end. And so it's a very fun program. You also get some PDFs of the meal ideas that we have, and you get videos. So that's the difference. Okay, we focus on detoxifying our bodies. So pretty much all the food that we eat during that week, that doesn't mean that you have to do it for the rest of your life, but during that week is cooked or raw, but it contains either 100% of the water and fiber, or 90, it's close to 100. So that is that's one of the goals. Is Dr. Starch your YouTube platform? I try to be fair and put things in my YouTube. YouTube is not Dr. Starch. YouTube is my name, Gustavo Tolosa, or you can also find it under Plant EMUS. That's my YouTube channel. Dr. Starch is Facebook. Okay, so you'll find my page there, and you can like it. And then my website, which is plantemus.com. Okay. This has been great. Thank you. Looking forward to this 5-day series. Thank you. Being unique, strong. Okay. Let's see. I needed this today to get back on track. What we want to do is to get back to the basics and simplify things and not complicate them. Okay. And okay. Anything else? If you want to type it. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. I saw someone that had a little hand up.
Yeah, that
And
was me. Sorry. Um, I'm just sitting here with my sister, and one thing that I have found, Gustavo, that has helped me so much is that I cleaned my environment. I took everything out of my pantry that was not compliant with your program. Well, with the Dr. McDougall's program, and I've like since Christmas I have found that that really helps me not bringing anything into the house that I shouldn't be eating, and not having anything in the cupboard that I shouldn't be eating. And my sister has been following along, and she's lost weight, and she says that she hasn't even been compliant most of, like lots of the time, so it's really helped not to have the stuff in the house.
it is. We'll talk about having a clean as possible home, a kitchen. But that's good. It shows the power of food. I mean, the phrase "it's the food," which is Dr. McDougall's phrase, "it's the food." It's the totally true, because it's the food that has power, that can heal us. So even if you're not 100% compliant, but you're leaving out some of these animal products and oils, you will see a big difference. Let me just quickly show you this, because I think some of you want to see that. If you go to my website, plantemas.com, and you go to webinars here, and you go to live workshops, then it says mini retreat, 7-day detox and reset adventure. I call it now adventure because I've had so much fun with you guys. I think this is going to be my 4th or 5th program. And it really is an adventure. We get to know ourselves and each other. So there you have all the info of what we do and how we do it and when and the times of day. And I don't ever want money to be a roadblock. So I have created here different price. You can see that if you have trouble paying the full price, there are others. And if you have trouble with that, then you can email me, and many times I can help. Okay, so I just want you to be healthy and to finally get back on track. So don't let money be an issue. Okay, well, I will see you tomorrow, and if you want to send me an email, feel free to do that. My email is info, and we'll type it here, info@plantemas. And I know I've said this, but plantemas comes from a combination of plants and music, because as you know, I am a professional musician, concert pianist, and so I get to do the two things that I love to do most: cooking and eating, and making music, because many times I play the piano for you. Okay, well, you all have a good evening or afternoon wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.